This is 75 crazy facts to make you feel smarter. Let's jump into it. The expiration date on water is for plastic. Water never goes bad, but over time, plastic can leach into it. Also, microplastics have already been found in water, air, and fish and food, but for the first time ever, scientists have discovered plastic particles in human blood. In 2017, an asteroid named AG-13 passed by our home planet with less than the distance of the moon. Scientists saw that it was coming only 2 days before it could have hit Earth. Pluto was discovered February 18, 1930, and yet it has still not completed one orbit around the sun since we discovered it. Lactose intolerance is actually a normal gene. Being able to drink milk is the mutation. At Harvard University, there is a book bound in human skin. Cillian Murphy has smoked over 3,000 herbal cigarettes playing Tommy Shelby in Peaky Blinders, according to an estimate from the prop department. The corpse flower, also known as the Titan arum, reeks of rotting flesh and death when it's in bloom. Lucky for us, this stinky plant blooms once every 7 to 9 years, according to the Eden Project, and each bloom only lasts between 24 to 36 hours. But still, though, God, that's nasty. Players have collectively spent more than 25 billion hours, or 2.85 million years, playing Call of Duty, longer than the course of human existence. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the human brain responsible for making rational decisions, doesn't fully mature until we're about 25 years old. Before that, we process information primarily with the amygdala, the emotional part of the brain. Darwin's bark spider is an orb weaver spider that produces the largest known orb webs, ranging from 900 to 28,000 square centimeters, with bridge lines spanning up to 25 meters as well. Darwin's bark spider's silk is considered the toughest biological substance. It is 10 times stronger than Kevlar. A strand long enough to circle the Earth would weigh less than 500 grams. Snails need moisture to survive, so if the weather isn't cooperating, they can actually sleep for up to 3 years. It's also been confirmed that depending on their geography, snails can shift into hibernation, winter sleep, or estivation, summer sleep. An estimated 90% of the population of Earth lives in the northern hemisphere. This is because approximately 6.57 billion people of the total human population of 7.3 billion live north of the equator. Once at altitude, the combination of the dry air and the pressure change reduces our taste bud sensitivity, so airline food will never taste as good as you want it to. Memory lapses can occur when you walk through doorways, which is why you sometimes walk into a room and forget why you entered it. This is known as the doorway effect. Psychologists believe that walking through doors resets memory to make room for a new episode to emerge. The word bonfire is actually derived from the Middle English bone fire, meaning literally fire of bones. Viking Leif Erikson beat Christopher Columbus to America by more than 500 years. If you're outside and your hair ever stands up kind of out of nowhere, you might be about to get struck by lightning, so duck or get in cover. The FDA says that a can of mushrooms can legally have up to 20 maggots in them. Until the 1980s, scientists believed that babies couldn't feel pain and would perform surgery without ever using anesthesia. Oh my God. Geese have teeth on their tongue. While they're made of cartilage, they're still very hard and very sharp. This tooth-like cartilage is designed for ripping through grass and aquatic vegetation and even small animals. When you're exhausted and go to bed, your body shuts down faster than usual. That jerk that your body makes is a signal from your brain to make sure you're not dying. You mostly breathe out of one nostril at a time, and the dominant nostril switches every hour or so. If you had $1 billion and spent $1,000 a day, it would take you 2,740 years to spend it all. Months that begin on Sunday will always have a Friday the 13th. Paper cuts hurt so much because the cut often bleeds very little or not at all, leaving the pain receptors open to the air, which make it sting a lot. On average, a prison lunch is more nutritious than the average school lunch. Now it all makes sense. Viking King Harold Bluetooth Gormson managed to unite the Viking tribes, which is why his name got used for the unifying tech. The logo combines the runes H and B of his name. The Eiffel Tower can grow more than 6 inches during the summer. The high temperatures make the iron expand. Thanks to 3D printing, NASA can basically email tools to astronauts. Getting new equipment to the space station used to take months or years, but the new technology means that the tools are ready within hours. The man with the world's deepest voice can make sounds humans can't hear. The man, Tim Storms, can't even hear the note himself, which is 8 octaves below the lowest G on the piano. Armadillo shells are bulletproof. In fact, one Texas man was hospitalized when a bullet he shot at an armadillo ricocheted off the animal to hit him in the jaw. The Bumblebee bat is the world's smallest mammal, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Since obsidian will fracture down to a single atom, it is claimed to have the cutting edge 500 times sharper than the sharpest steel blade, and under a high magnification microscope, An obsidian blade still appears smooth, whereas a steel blade has a saw-like edge when you look at it closely. This breed is entirely black, from their feathers, beaks, tongues, to their meat, bones, and internal organs. The first pillows were made of stone. They were not designed for comfort, but to elevate the head so that insects wouldn't crawl into a person's mouth, nose, or ears while they're sleeping. Major interstate routes are designed by 1 or 2 digit numbers. Routes with odd numbers run north and south, while even numbers run east and west. For north-south routes, the lowest numbers begin in the west, while the lowest numbers east-west routes are in the south. Albatross seabirds can live over 50 years and mate when they're 5 years old. They stay with the same partner for 45 plus years, making it among the longest relationships in the animal world. You will never count to 1 billion in your lifetime. Even if you were able to count non-stop at one number per second, it would take 32 years to get to 1 billion. But larger numbers take more than a second to pronounce, and you have to sleep sometime. Strategic incompetence is the art of avoiding certain tasks by pretending you don't know how to do them. If a flatworm's head is cut off, not only will it regrow its head and brain, but the new brain contains all the memories from the old brain. Stairwells in medieval castles were narrow and curved clockwise, built for home defense. Attackers coming up the stairs with their swords in the right hand would be against the interior curve of the wall and made it very difficult to swing their swords, while defenders had their sword hands on the outside wall, giving much more room to swing and giving them a much larger advantage. The great frigate bird sleeps in 20-second bursts while in flight, allowing them to fly non-stop for months at a time. Feeding canaries red peppers turned them orange. Lions pretend to be hurt by the bites of their young to encourage them. There used to be a species of crocodile that could gallop. Thank God it's extinct. Octopuses have been around longer than the dinosaurs have existed. Dogs feel most vulnerable when pooping, so they look to their owners for protection, which often results in awkward staring. Young eggplants look like eggs, which is where they got their name. One of the reasons your lungs feel refreshed when walking through a pine forest is because of the anti-inflammatory compound called apinine found in conifers. Apinine has been used for centuries as a bronchodilator in the treatment of asthma. Killer whales that live in captivity with dolphins can learn their complicated language, and eventually they will begin to use it. A group of crows is called a murder, a group of ravens is called an unkindness. Horseshoe crabs have bright blue blood that costs $15,000 per liter, and has saved millions of lives. To punish tree thieves who cut down trees illegally, some cities spray trees with fox urine around Christmas time, and what it does is it freezes on the trees and is odorless when it's outdoors. But when you cut down the tree and you bring it inside and it starts to warm up, you finally start to smell it, and people describe the smell as eye-watering. Octopus are so smart that they're given puzzles so they don't get bored in captivity. The most remote location on Earth lies in the South Pacific and is known as Nemo Point. So remote, in fact, the closest humans to this point would be the astronauts in the ISS that occasionally drift overhead. A lobster's brain is located in its throat, its nervous system in its abdomen, its teeth in its stomach, and its kidneys in its head. It also hears using its legs, tastes with its feet, and tends to favor one front limb, meaning they can be right-clawed or left-clawed. After her mother died, J.K. Rowling was severely depressed. The Dementors in Harry Potter represented her experience with depression, and she quoted this: "It's not sadness, I know sadness. Sadness is to cry and to feel, but it's that cold absence of feeling, that really hollowed out feeling. That's what Dementors are." Bulletproof glass can be manufactured to be bulletproof one way, but allow you to shoot through it the other way. Abraham Lincoln is in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, losing only one out of about 300 matches, and once challenging an entire crowd of onlookers after dispatching an opponent. The designer of the 50-star U.S. flag was a 17-year-old history student from the Lancaster, Ohio area named Robert Heft. He made it for a high school history project, and the teacher gave him a B- for his lack of originality. The WD-40 company never patented the WD-40 formula in order to avoid having to ever disclose the trade secret ingredients publicly. In 2010, Sogen Kato, believed to be the oldest man in Tokyo at the age of 111, was found mummified in his bed at the family home. Police finally broke in and discovered that he had died at the age of 79, and his family lied about it to keep receiving his pension. Your cornea does not have blood vessels, so it gets the vast majority of its oxygen supply from the surrounding air. This is why contact lens wearers can damage their corneas if they don't take out their contacts for a few hours a day. Flamingos can only eat when their heads are upside down because of the structure of their beak and mouth. All their feedings take place underwater, so they have to hold their breath while they're feeding. Andrew Jackson fought at least 100 duels in his life, many of them over his wife. In one duel, he was shot in the chest but still managed to kill his opponent. While dueling was technically illegal at the time, he was not charged with murder, and less than 20 years later, he was elected president. The Outer Space Treaty, signed by all major spacefaring nations, prohibits claiming territory in space or on celestial bodies. Space is considered the shared heritage of mankind. A 28-year-old patient reportedly inhaled the seed of a fir tree, which had sprouted and then grown inside of his lung. Doctors thought they were dealing with a tumor and were stunned when they made the discovery. During his visit at a zoo, Mike Tyson offered the keeper $10,000 to open a gorilla cage so that he can go in there and punch the gorilla who he noticed was bullying all the other primates. Pirates wore an eye patch to have one eye adjusted for the top deck and the other already adjusted for the darkness when they went below deck. Hugging someone you love releases the hormone oxytocin, which lowers blood pressure, reduces anxiety, and can even improve your memory. In 1992, a shipping container filled with 28,000 rubber duckies got lost at sea, and to this day they are still being found around the world. Thomas Edison was so upset with his son's ineptitude for business that he offered him $35 a week if he would simply change his name. And that was 75 crazy facts to make you feel smarter. I hope you liked it. It took me a while to make it. You guys seem to like this stuff over there on TikTok. So if you do like it and you want to see more, please leave me a like. That's the best way for me to know. But other than that, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.